Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be testing the weight of middle indicator. But before we do, if you have not watched our first video and the videos after that, you need to go do that now. At the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. And as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down below. You can also find a link to sign up for TradingView down below. If you use the link below, you will save a little bit of money. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. Discord is a free group communication platform. On our Discord server, we are having great conversations about all things regarding trading. One of the biggest struggles on this channel is people who use other platforms like MT4 being able to follow along. Sometimes it can be hard to find the indicators we are using on other platforms. And so on our Discord server, I have created a channel for indicator creation. And on that channel, I pinned links to freelancers who can code indicators for MT or for TradingView. So if you don't want to create a TradingView account, you can hire a freelancer for a really small fee and have them code an indicator for the MT platform. Or if you are on TradingView and need an indicator created, something unique or an indicator for a system you have developed, you can also have them code PineScript. So use the link for either MT4 coding or use the link for PineScript. Lastly, I get a lot of people that are asking me for the entire list of all the winning indicators that we have tested to date. And whereas I am not a big proponent of gatekeeping information, I've put a lot of time and effort into creating the content on my YouTube channel. And so I don't think it is too much to ask for the viewers to go through and view the content that I've spent a lot of time creating. Now, if you are not interested in supporting our channel by going back and watching the content that I have created, then I have developed a solution for you. I've created a Patreon account. I will put a link to it down below in the description. If you sign up for Patreon and you sign up for the $9 a month account, I will send you the full list of tested and winning indicators to date. I will also send you an updated list of the indicators that we are testing at the end of each week. Now, of course, you have to stay subscribed to the $9 subscription, monthly subscription, to continue to receive the updated list of indicators. But that way it will provide me with the support that I need to continue to provide the free content that I am putting out for everybody to view. Now, if you just love the channel in general and want to support us, then there is also a lower, I think $3 Patreon subscription that you can sign up for that will also help support the channel and keep things going, so that way I can continue to produce the content and the open information that we are creating here in this channel and in our Discord server. Again, if you have not signed up for our Discord, then you need to do that as well. It is a absolutely free platform where we have real-time ability to chat and have conversations about trading. And again, if you want to support the channel with Patreon, then you can find the link down below in the description. All right, as I said, today we will be testing the weight of middle indicator. But before we do, I wanted to put the indicator scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested 161 indicators, and out of those 161 indicators, 65 of them have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 65 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back and watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. All right. So today's indicator is the weight of middle indicator. And it is a pretty simple setup. We basically have you can call it a zero line cross, even though it's not really pivoting around the 0 line. It's actually pivoting around the 1.00 line. It's an oscillating line. It's basically moving up and down above and below the 1.00 marker. And so the creator of the indicator, it is a TradingView member created indicator. And so, of course, there is a link to it down below in the description. But they were kind enough to give us a quick reference to how it should be traded. And basically, when the oscillating line breaks above 1, that is a signal to go long. And when it breaks down below 1, that is a signal to go short. And so, pretty simple, not a whole lot to it. I am going to go in and make just a few changes. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Bump up the weight of the oscillating line just a little bit there. See if we can get a better visualization of it. Now, I do know that the indicator also seems to have this extra little feature in there where it will bump out these. It's kind of hard to explain. It's basically almost like a histogram, and once the oscillating line gets far enough in one direction or another, it will start to spike these thin little histogram lines up from the 0 line or the 1 line up to the oscillating line. Now, I have not seen it do that yet on this Forex pair, and so I'm wondering if maybe this indicator wasn't developed for maybe something with a little more volatility, maybe Bitcoin or something along those lines. Not really sure. The creator didn't specifically say. I didn't look at the chart that they had pulled up on it either, and so. But yeah, that's another interesting little feature that I haven't really seen it in action yet. I seen it on the page where the creator listed the indicator, gave a preview of how it looks and so on, like that. And so that's what the reason why I mentioned it is because that's what this is right here. You see this this little limit button right here, and it's set to histogram, and so it spikes these little histograms. It's kind of interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and change this as well. Might as well just do a solid line instead of a dotted line. A little bit easier for me to see. Just my preference. Okay, so let me see. Doesn't look like there is a whole lot of support and resistance really happening on screen. We can go ahead and mark out a few points. Let's see here. So maybe about right there. Maybe one somewhere in that area. Something along those lines, I would say. And again, if you're ever in a scenario to where you're having trouble getting an idea of support and resistance lines, then once again you can use Fibonacci. Use the Fibonacci retracement. Is the easiest one to use. Basically, you just go from the highest point and you would go down to the lowest point, like so. And that basically gives you kind of a map of support and resistance areas. Now, of course, like I said before, I don't have all my different areas turned on. Let's do 236. Let's do 786, and just a few areas. And so now you can see that it is actually painting in some of these areas that might act as support and resistance. And you can turn on more than just those. Let's say we did that one as well, and then that one as well. And this is basically every Fibonacci level that this particular retracement has, from 0 to 1. And so now if we go here, you can see that it is starting to lay these out almost right on top of where we have the support and resistance lines that we already drew. And so this can be a relatively easy way to map out support and resistance areas without actually having to put some guesswork into it. And so if I zoom in here, I know it's kind of hard to see, but yeah, we're basically laying these black lines are almost right at, so the 0.618 right there is a line. Right at the 50% retracement is a line. We have this one here that is really close to the 0.382. And then what you can do is you can then go in and drop support and resistance lines right on each of these levels, like that. And then one more right there. And then if you go in and you delete out your Fibonacci, now you have a grid here. I keep saying grid, it's not really a grid. Now you have kind of a support and resistance mapped out using Fibonacci levels. And you can see that often they coincide with areas of price action movement. And so that is a really easy, quick, and simple way to get kind of support and resistance areas. And so you can do that on the reverse side as well. And so let's say that I wanted to capture this big area up here. I wanted to put the Fibonacci levels on it. Then what I would do is do the Fibonacci retracement. And you can kind of pick whatever point you want to go from. I try to go from some of the main points. And so like this one's a main point, this one's a main point. And so let's say that one to this one. And so you can now map out these areas. And if you look, you can see right here, price action pushed up, bounced off that area. You can see over here, price action pushed up, it bounced off that area. You can see that price action, kind of teetered around and bounced around these areas quite a bit. And so you can then go in and lay your support and resistance lines on top of these, and yeah, and so on. So, all right, let's get back to it then. Here we have it. Get zoomed in on this thing. Come on. All right. And so, yeah, like I said, so we're just looking for a cross of the zero line, essentially. And that's how we're going to try it. Let's see. So we get our first. Let's double check here. Where are we at? There. Not quite. So let's go ahead and play it from there. Go ahead and play it out from here. Cruising along. Get our first break above right here. That was a decent little move. Definitely got us to take profits. So far so good. Get a break to the downside right there. That one might not have done so well. Not 150 there. Bounced up here. Didn't stop us out. Got pretty close. Let's go ahead and play it out. There it goes. Eventually got us there. Took a second, but it did. All right. Playing it along here. Get a small break to the upside right there. It immediately turns around, comes back down on us for a short right here. That one worked out in our favor. And we're moving along. Price action isn't doing anything spectacular at this point. It's kind of slowly sloping its way down. That could be an indication that it is weakening and losing some momentum, but it's definitely nothing set in stone as far as what it's doing, and so just kind of keep an eye on it. Yeah, there it did. It kind of weakened out and then bounced itself back up. Didn't do it with any kind of great conviction, but it nonetheless went up. That would have been fairly difficult to gauge when that was going to take place. Now, the funny part is our indicator seemed to call it rather well when it did finally make that move. And so there's one of those instances where your indicator and price action is kind of lining up. Price action was pushing down, was doing it very slowly, kind of weakening. You could see that it kept wanting to push up with these long engulfing candles, push up, push up, push up. And finally it broke up here with this really long green candle, super big engulfing candle right there. And as it did, our oscillating line spiked up above the one, giving us a long signal. So that is exactly what we look for when we are using price action to confirm what our indicator is doing, and vice versa when our indicator is confirming what price action is doing. And so nice little setup there. All right, back to it. That one didn't work out for us, but it then spiked up over right there. So that wasn't too bad. Now price action is pushed way up at this point. So we had a really strong push, had a few cycles that took place. And so you'll hear me talk about the cycles of a move. And so you have one strong push, a pullback. This would be the second leg of a strong push, a pullback. third leg of a strong push and a pullback. And so at this point, it looked pretty decent. Pretty decent setup for it to turn around and come back down. Didn't really have a great price action kind of pattern set up. And so don't know if I'd have taken that as a trade, but then it pushed up one more time, and now it's starting to roll over again, given this really big engulfing candle. But again, price action didn't really create any kind of specific pattern that looked decent. Now, what we do notice is that down here on our indicator, we are getting a divergence. There we go. Get it out. Spit on myself here. A divergence on the indicator. And so we see here that we had a strong push to the upside that was indicated by this big hump right here. Then we had another pretty strong push to the upside, but this one failed to make a higher high compared to this one. So that in itself could be a pretty good telltale sign that price action has now weakened, and this big engulfing candle right here could be a telltale sign that price action is weakening and starting to come back down. And it came up and it touched this area of resistance above, which could also be a pretty good indication that price action is now hit a point where it wants to reverse. You couple that with the fact that we had this really strong big push to the upside, and there's a pretty good chance that we're going to see a downward move from this, if not now, in the very near future here. And so let's go ahead and play it out a little bit and see what it does. So it pushed up some and made another push to the upside. It kind of did the same thing, another divergence type setup here. And now in this case, it pushed up to a support area, and it is now confirming with our indicator that it has officially broke down into a downtrend. And so at this point, we have another additional level of confluence from our indicator. So we have a strong push up, definitely more than 3 cycles. It's hit an area of support and resistance. It's showing signs of weakness of rolling over in price action. We have divergence on the indicator itself, and then finally we get a short signal from our indicator, all lining up at the same time at this point in time, telling us to go short. Let's play it out and see what happens. Tinkered with it a little bit, pushing it up, but then it eventually tumbles down, down, down. All right, let's see here. So this was a short signal over here. It does look like, unfortunately though, our indicator is a little bit twitchy, and so we would have gotten stopped out just from the fact that, yeah, we wouldn't have got stopped out by the number of pips. We got stopped out by the fact that it peaked up to a long signal there for just a second. And so had we been playing this a little bit differently, that would have been a really decent trade. Then we lose on that one, comes back down for a second there, we lose on that one, back up for a second there, we lose on that one, before finally giving us a short right there. And so yeah, there's an example of, you know, how price action can all line up. And now if you were to use the same method of you know, confluence between multiple different conditions, then technically we wouldn't have taken a long there because we didn't have the same set of conditions. So this would have still been a valid trade, and we would have been in it, riding this thing down, 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 making quite a few pips at this point. And so that is the power of having multiple different conditions that need to be met before taking a trade. Now, unfortunately, at this point, all we're testing is the indicator and the indicator itself. And so got to stay true to what we're doing here, not get ourselves off track. But that again just speaks to the power of setting a layer of conditions that all need to kind of line up at the same time before a trade signal can be validated. It's no different than the system that we're working on building now. The system we're working on building basically just layers on multiple indicators that all have to line up a specific way, the specific time and place to confirm that a signal is valid. That will then allow us to take that trade at that time. And if a piece or two is off, then the signal itself is considered broken and invalid, and we wouldn't take it. All right, let's get on with it here. Moving along. So here we go. We have another kind of decent little price action setup and confirmation coming from our indicator. We are missing a few different, well, looks like we're just missing one condition really. And so we have a push down, but it hasn't really had the cycles that we're comfortable with looking at. And so over here again, if we look at this, we had a push up, a pullback. It wasn't a significant pullback, it was just a minor pullback retracement. Then it pushed up, another minor pullback and retracement, then a push up, another minor pullback, a push up, and then eventually it broke to the downside. Now over here we have a push down, kind of a minor pullback. It's a little bit larger than I'd like to see it, bumped up there pretty high. You have a pull down, another leg of the move down. You have a pullback here, but that is really long and not a great pullback. Once price action does this, consider it a too much relief, too much of pressure taken off of the move. And so when you get that, then you get another push down. It kind of weakens the retracement that might be taking place afterwards. Just something to keep an eye on. And so we didn't really have a great push down with the cycles we wanted, but we've definitely had a good push to the downside. Came down, it bounced off this area of support, hit it once, had a small pullback, came down and hit it again, failed to make a lower low, and now we have our indicator giving us a long signal right here. We don't have divergence taking place on the indicator itself, so we're missing that, and we're missing the really good clean cycles and one strong push as well. So now we're down two of the conditions that we had before. But let's go ahead and play it out and see if it gets a push to the upside. It did enough to get us to take profit if we were trading it. Let's see, let's go ahead and map out these. Video is gonna get a little long, and so I'm gonna go ahead and just push through the rest of these signals here. We won't worry about price action too much now. We've played around with that enough. Let's just get the indicator tested. So we get a punch to the upside there. Comes down and stops us out pretty quickly right there. Finally catches us a good trade to the upside there. Moving on here. Price action made a good push up. seemed to have rolled over and is starting to push its way down. Let's see, keep an eye on our indicator here. So when it up there, came back down over here. That one did decent, then back up over there. Push to the downside. That one did not work out for us very well. Push to the upside. That got us to take profits. And a short here. That one didn't. Then along there, which is still playing out. There we go, that got us there. Pretty good short there as well. Almost to the end of the year. And there we have it. Alright, so that's what we got. Let's go ahead and get rid of the support and resistance lines here. Clean things up a little bit. Give us a count off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. So we have 34 signals all together. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. 17 winning trades. And so, unfortunately, that is not going to meet the 60% criteria that we were looking for. Yes, not a horrible indicator. It definitely was getting us in quick enough, but in some cases it was acting too quick. And so it's definitely one of those double-edged swords where there's a thin line there that we got to walk. It needs to get us in quick, but it doesn't need to react so quick that every little move it's spiking up and down and up and down, and getting us whipsawed in and out of trades. And so, all right, unfortunately, this one's going to go on the no list, and we'll move on to the next indicator from here.
If you have not already, like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. As part of the team, it's important that you are seeing the new videos as they come out, so you know what it is that we are discussing and what indicators we are testing, have tested, and have not tested. Also, like usual, there is a link below in the description to the Discord server. You can join us on Discord so that way we can further discuss the indicators and have discussions as we move forward building our trading system. And lastly, like usual, there is a link below to TradingView. If you like what you see whenever I use TradingView and you are interested in signing up for TradingView, if you use the link below and sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money. So, all right, everybody, I will see you on the next video.